Hey, GM everyone. It's Wednesday night. So let's play Little Nouns. I'm here as always, joined by Index Card. We got a great show. We got a new meta. We got a new game mechanic. We got a bunch of new votes. Some strange results. We got a great show. And we're going to get to it right after this. Hey, Index Card, GM, how are you?
GM, I'm doing really, really well. Feeling like super optimistic and excited about just nouns as a whole right now, and so I'm hoping to, carry this through for weeks and months, maybe. This feeling, yeah. I'm a little flip there, but and I don't know if I'm.
I was gonna say, what's got you so hyped?
Just thinking really deeply about nouns, I guess, and in ways I never have. So, like, unlocking a whole new perspective on nouns, and trying to carry that into like a day-to-day life.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. It's Wednesday night. We've been doing this for a while now. For those of you just tuning in here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, drop a comment below, subscribe. This is an adventure. This is a live stream show. We are sponsored officially by Little Nouns DAO. You can read all about that. That's littlenounns.wtf/vote/116. This show here is not financial advice. It's not legal advice. Index. We've been at this for quite a while here. We have been sort of in the, we sort of called it the trough of sorrow. It feels like a new page has turned. A new day has dawned. I don't know. How would you characterize the point that we are in our journey?
Yeah, I guess optimism you're writing is kind of like a nice word, but you kind of can you start working on something, I guess, and then we've done 10 of these in a row, and maybe sometimes you just get a little bit stuck on like one path, and it takes like something external sometimes. Maybe it could be internal, but to kind of show you that maybe there's like an adjacent path or a parallel path. And so, hoping this kind of helps dig us out and shows us a way out. I don't know how you have a path in the sea, but there's got to be one out there to bring it back to our ship kind of metaphor.
Yeah, I think well said, man. Well said. Maybe we should lead off with sort of some news, kind of around little nouns, around nouns. I think you and I have both not been super active, but I checked in and just an update, sort of little nouns. Prop 130, as you predicted on this show, was canceled. That was a 60 ETH re-up on auto bidder. You predicted that on this very show last week, didn't you, Index?
What can I say? I maybe had like an inside scoop just from staying in tune. I've learned that's one thing I'm really good at, is being in tune to like the day-to-day. I don't want to call it minutia, but in some ways it is. Like the boots on the ground action. My nouns knowledge is quite strong. But the interesting thing is we haven't seen a resubmit. So that's kind of caught me a little off guard. But maybe again, this prop timing, it could be a thing, or just proposer could be busy. You never know. Yeah, it's hard to go on chain, even if it's a kind of prop like this, where you don't necessarily have to think too deeply about it. You kind of are just like mimicking a previous proposal, but still, I guess going on chain is a burden in some regards.
Yeah, you never really know what's going to happen. I'm pulling up here lilnouns.wtf/vote. And then interestingly, last week I remember talking about the reserve price. This is 131, just how the prop had literally just a TLDR. And this went down. And interestingly, big abstain here from Lil Nounders. And no quorum here without Lil Nounders, without Will Price. Geesh, only 5 addresses voting yes. Quite low turnout.
Yeah, this is like a play. Like if we're talking games, this is a play we haven't seen in a while in Little Nouns, which we used to see all the time. And you know what? Like a lot of people like to say Little Nouns is just a handful of people always arguing about the same topics. But for a while, quorum was no longer an issue, which was like a big major issue for Little Nouns over a long period of time. And like all like the infighting, I guess, at least had some positives, that like props were getting definitive results. And so like this is like a new play that not a new play, but an old play we haven't seen in a while. Some abstains, lack of quorum.
Yeah, and then 132 passed overwhelmingly here with a combination of Little Nounders. Who else here? Satori.
Mike Good's got to be in there somewhere.
Prof. Yeah, I think Mike's this. No. Karen.
There he is. Good old Mike Good. Yeah, this is just like I really enjoy this one. I think, but I'm a heavy GIF user, and I do think to some extent like the internet runs on GIFs. And so like,
yeah,
how could you say no to this prop? It's just like a very classic Nounish prop.
I know, especially someone who's got the combined reservoir of The Office, Seinfeld. Boy, this has got to be Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh,
bring me way back, man.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to this one. I think I'm a delegate. I mean, I delegate to Mike Good, but I would have gladly voted for this proposal. Someone who's just really good at what they do, coming to bring their talents, and I feel like that's kind of the best of nouns.
Yep, and a Twitch streamer too, Liam Draws.
I know. I have to tune in to one of these streams, see how it's made.
Yeah. Okay, so that's there is still money for builders and Little Nouns. We also have a new builder prop up that I believe Mike put up that I want to highlight real quickly because Graphic, actually, if you remember, Graphic put me in touch with Leo, who's been in my DMs. I gave some feedback on Lil Nouns Barcelona. It's up by our good friend Mike. Here it is. What did he end up going with here? He's got a budget, impact, 3.8 ETH. Not too much.
Fairly reasonable, I would say. I haven't really given this prop too much attention yet. I do, tend to come at these with like a no, these kind of events, but I have to give it a read. And I mean, I'm not voting anyway, but yeah, it's just cool to see people trying their shot at Little Nouns.
Also, gotta say, Mike as a proposer, that's OG. Like, I see Mike putting up a prop, and I don't know if there's anyone else like that in Little Nouns where, I mean, just Mike's name alone means a lot to me.
Correct. You can't forget that. So I gotta give this one a read. But yeah, either way, it's cool to see people come into Little Nouns with their ideas. We want more of that.
Yeah, and shout out Leo, who hit me up straight up. You know, a lot of people are lazy, a lot of people don't. Leo Bunster sent me a draft, sent me, you know, something. I said, hey, put it as a Google Doc. I gave him some feedback. It looks like he incorporated it. Always gotta respect a hustler, somebody who just you know, is persistent and keeps going forward. So shout out Leo, if you want to come on the stream, love to have you. If we could find a time to make it work. All right. So let's see. What if we shift gears a bit over to nouns? Check nouns main.
I just want to say real quick, our number one viewer is in the chat, Aniello. So I have to at least acknowledge Aniello.
Let's go. Aniello, obviously a member of Purple DAO based on their PFP. Shout out Purple DAO. Okay, cool. Yeah, so nouns props. Yeah, as I was kind of prepping for this show, a couple things that struck me were there have actually been a bunch of props that have passed in sort of wide margins. And so maybe start here at 311. You know, you and I both expected this to pass overwhelmingly. But geez, 306 to 0. Gosh, it I don't know, a prop of this size just seems like it's been a long time since such an enormous prop has been passed so overwhelmingly. $500,000. And yeah, looks like maybe some technical difficulties here. Lost index card for the moment. Yeah, index hopefully will be back soon. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, just keep on chugging along. Yeah, again, huge shout out to Verbs. OG Nouners. Obviously, they're building something like extremely useful. Extremely useful to a broad consensus from the DAO. They asked for 450K. Obviously, they're using their DAO, the DAO payer contract, which they themselves, I believe, built. The token buyer. Yeah, 38 addresses went onto the blockchain to vote yes, including obviously Madrovsky, her index card. Who else do we see? Corella, Gami. That looks like oh, Nounders right there. Nounders 12. Just a wide swath of voters, including sort of the rage quit types. I think DCF was a proud yes. Yeah, Index, welcome back, GM.
That was the first. I think I just lost complete internet access for a while. I thought maybe it was you or StreamYard, but my bad. Yeah, I'm back, thankfully.
Yeah, no worries. I was just sort of just expressing my just astonishment at such a overwhelming victory here by this Verbs team.
Yeah, this is kind of like an interesting one because both sides of the table kind of are benefiting from them, rely on them, and are supportive of them. It may be one of the more unique cases in Nouns, I think, that a team like this can garner such support on both sides of the spectrum.
Absolutely. Oh darn, I can't visualize it here on MMOOGU. I would love to. But yeah, maybe let's see. Let's go on from 311 to 313. Man, up to Q now. I flagged this one because, as far as I can tell, this is the first vote that was actually swung by the Federation voting pool. Yeah, so what ended up happening is this address bid 0.11 ETH for 30 votes. And if they hadn't, these votes would have voted against. In which case, this would have failed.
Not quite, but very close. 30 votes was just borderline. It was like a safe, like a security measure by whoever bought them. I haven't looked at who bought them, but
yeah, but see, if they hadn't been voted yes, then beautiful NFTs voted against. So these 30 would have been against if.
Oh, okay, you're right. I didn't see the against. I was looking at the other screen. So you're right. Yeah. They were forced, almost. Well, not forced, but yeah. Kind of. Okay, I missed the against bid, but you're right.
And this is, like a pretty low stakes prop. This isn't paying any, one particular person. I believe it's basically purchasing, basically insurance for the staked ETH position, which, as anyone who watches this show knows, how passionate I am for the staked ETH position, which is, I believe, worth over $27 million, something like that. Yeah, 27,426,000. Actually, let's check here. So before the stream, it was at 14,994. Let's see what the position is now.
Sometimes you might need to refresh the page if it actually did update at all.
Anyway, close enough. I think we've got a couple more coins, but basically $28 million. This prop is, testing out sort of a new DeFi primitive. But anyway, it would have failed but for that vote. And yeah, I commented to you that this is really a new metagame for nouns, in that prop can either pass or fail based on the use of this pool. And here there was only 30 votes. I think now the pool is increased to, looks like 39 votes.
Yeah, it's getting up to be over like 40 now, depending on what prop you're getting to. But 40 is kind of a lot, huge impact. I don't know what percentage of, like, I haven't done the math yet, what percentage of the total active voting pool that would be. But it's got to be a large percent. But I think for like the Steve Peg one, it's a two-part proposal, and this first part is a little bit lower stakes than the second part that has to come. So I think that's also part of it, why it was easy to be the first one swayed. Not too many ramifications on this one, like I don't know if either side was super passionate, but maybe the for side is always going to be slightly more opinionated than the against side.
Well, the thing that, and actually let's use this opportunity here. I'm going to check out voter.wtf, another prop I want to talk about. But let's go to the voting order. That's hilarious.
I feel like if you're paying for the vote, you should be able to write a reason. That's the only thing that kind of throws me off about this one.
So, I guess POAP voted. There were 66 votes for that came in after the pool.
You're not looking at the actual timeline view. You have to click the clock. There you go.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the pool here was the last vote.
Yeah, it closes off like 30 minutes before, I think.
So there were no votes after this. I mean, the last vote cast has sort of an advantage because you have the most information. And if the pool is the last vote cast, I don't know, it just makes it very powerful.
Certainly. They yeah, it kind of we always talk about like early game and late game proposals, like early game proposal, like not proposals, votes. So or like early game votes can sometimes have an outsized impact than their actual voting power, because they kind of can set the tone. They can maybe help influence other reasons in votes. But like against votes or votes at the late game also kind of have that, but in a different way, where maybe they're not influencing other votes, but they they just have more information and know like how to use the vote best for the outcome they want. So that's interesting. I don't know where middle game votes kind of fall, but we have to come up with something about the middle game.
Yeah, I just noticed scrolling through here, this nouns protector vote against. Obviously good branding here, nouns protector. They're trying to protect nouns against what they view as a governance attack. And then noun 40 here, love this. Thanks for sharing and digging in, but different conclusion. That's like a citation to the vote, but for like to then dunk on the original vote. Badass move there by noun 40.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see. Like, I don't know if this is the first scenario of like a for and against, like back and forth discussion, but the Yitong too with engaging with nouns protectors reason. But usually we see like a revote with reason or like an alignment, but it's interesting to see a back and forth on both sides of the fence. This is not too common, I think. There's my vote.
I see here your vote. Who most persuaded you? I see you didn't want to take sides or write out a reason.
The proposal itself, I've taken not a new approach, but you kind of have to, like, for me, I have to be interested in a proposal first off, and this type of proposal just doesn't interest me, and that's kind of like step one: capture the attention and interest me, and then go from there. But this one just is not interesting. It's not my viewpoint of nouns to like spend all this energy and time on this stuff. So I'm being quicker to an against or an abstain.
Yeah, I see we got some Spanish here dropped in the vote with reason from POAP, the largest whale. I don't know what that means.
I definitely don't know either. Interesting. Well, the one very interesting like meta thing about this all is so this was proposed on by Will Price on behalf of Cozy Finance, and I don't know how that relationship came to be or how this proposal came to be, but on this one hand you have like a sort of a DeFi-ish prop with the staking and preserving the yield, and then the guy behind Cozy Finance is on Twitter talking about Nounish pickleball paddles and Nounish pickleball like sponsorships. And so it's crazy that on one end of the spectrum, like 1 week you get this super DeFi side of the coin, and then the next week talking about the complete like absurd side of nouns from the same team. It's kind of like the power of nouns.
What a vote, man. What a vote. Yeah, what about 314, man? I am a huge fan of voter.wtf. Gosh, you wanna take the lead on this one, Index?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like the governance pool as being a new meta, but Wilson here himself has kind of introduced a new meta. A super passionate guy who spent some time building a product, showing it has some use. He built in public quite a bit, took a lot of feedback, and really like honed in on a very specific focus, and kind of like set the tone for the DAO to start voting with more reason and increase the on-chain activity, the on-chain discourse, and then ask for funding. And so, proposers in the future who are doing this type of thing have to keep this in mind. He's kind of like creating a new path for people, but also maybe altering the path for like existing proposers that have followed a different route before. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, the actual website is really amazing, simple, effective, and I think that's what matters the most in nouns.
Yep, love this reason here from Yutong, right? Obviously the great game of nouns is to figure out how to use software to coordinate humans towards effective funding.
Yeah, and I think this proposal in voter.wtf also speaks to the legitimacy of funding many different clients. Because obviously we funded other ones in the past, and it took until this one to make a huge change in the DAO. And if you just stop funding at a certain point or set limits to it, we never would have gotten this result, possibly. So there's like so many things to this prop.
Yep. It's also great to see Will Papper here. He's got that awesome playground cloud noun. Whenever Will Papper says this is such an easy yes, there's something there. Obviously, this public good, voting with reason, governance, so much potential, and a reasonable retro ask. Easy for the DAO to get behind this, and gosh, just uniting sort of kind of all aspects, in my opinion, of nounishness.
And then even also,
yeah, go ahead.
Another meta like component to it was the actual proposal itself. To the point, simple and easy to read. Like, it didn't make it work for the voters, which is kind of a very nice thing. A lot of voters or nouners or delegates, it's kind of like pro bono work this governance for them. And if a voter can make it really easy, that I think is a big win.
Yep. We've spent so much time really talking about voter.wtf. It's open source. It's really built in public. It's really run by Wilson Cusack. Shout out at Wilson Cusack on Twitter here, who's kind of constantly kind of asking good, interesting questions. I find myself retweeting him often. Yeah, shout out Wilson.
Yep, it's kind of amazing what one one person can do in a DAO.
Yep. This interestingly is still up. We've got, how much longer do we have? About 4 more hours. And let's check the voting pool here. Retrofundvoter.wtf. It looks like at Beautiful NFTs here is bid 0.05 for the no, the 34 votes for no here. Obviously not going to make a difference here. This is a runaway success, but interesting that Beautiful NFTs would put some ETH towards the against votes here.
Yeah, who knows why, but yeah, I don't know. maybe for the paying for the marketing on the Vote with Reason. It's like this could be considered marketing spend, as he will be returned a decent portion of this ETH anyway. A lot of nouns he owns or is affiliated with is in the pool anyway. He takes or Goop, I should say. I don't really know what the connection between Goop is. Takes a percentage of the fee, so much lower cost for him to participate than others.
Yep. Yeah. Any props you want to chat about, Index?
I feel like that kind of was like the chunk of props, you know, and then these next ones are like the next wave of props. I don't know if I have too much to say on a couple of these, but I've been a little busy, so I haven't gotten a chance to read too much into some of these. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a huge tennis fan myself, but this is one of those resubmissions that, usually actually have a pretty good chance, but this one looks like it's going to go down pretty badly here. Yeah, not too much to say. Definitely is the first kind of professional tennis player who seems to have an awareness of nouns. Kind of interesting, but looks like it's not going to get through. We've got the Nouns a Movie Chapter 2. Wow. This looks like it's on its way to pass. Clearly looks like it'll hit threshold. Big ask. But a team that shipped and is moving quickly. Did you watch this film?
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. I think it's really cool that like something like this is occurring. I kind of like the Verbs prop. You have this like really crazy new innovative protocol or whatever, and people are willing to like carve out this much time and effort and intensity and dedicate it to working on it. And I feel like the DAO should be encouraging that as much as possible. Like the Verbs are kind of a framework for what we want to see in every other domain and vertical. And I think this, you know, it is expensive, but I think this is kind of what we are seeing here with this film. I'm not really like a movie person, but I watched it and enjoyed it. And so I want to see the next part, to be honest. And they also laid out their ask ahead of time, so you kind of knew what you were getting into with the first prop, and they've stuck with it so far. It's only like the second phase here, but you know, that's something to be commended.
And this is the team that did the short film with the fox head on the motorcycle, little short, right? Is this the same?
Yeah. The same company and team. I don't really know how they work as like an organization. So, but yeah, same general group.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that a lot. A lot of great little Easter eggs. Yeah, I watched The Rise of Blues. I definitely watched Chapter 2. But it's definitely, you can tell it's sort of building its own story world. It's got this sort of unique kind of city in the sky aesthetic. And and definitely a team that we can count on that ships, that can get things done.
Yeah, the really interesting one of this is like, it's going to be in so many like phases. It's kind of like a first of its kind. So it'll just be fun from like a meta perspective to see how that plays out, and if you can like almost track sentiment over each prop.
Yep. Yep. Um, 318 here. Oof. Looks like this is losing fairly badly. You were on, I think you're on the multi-sig here. We talked about this briefly. Yeah. Looks like this is definitely the nouns as a game, kind of metagame. 200 ETH ask is a good amount. And does not look like this one will pass index.
Yeah, it's off to a tough start. I think there is some like delineation from being on a multi-sig to being like part of a proposal. Pretty much what happened is that I played some of these games really early on. I try to support everybody in the ecosystem as much as I can by at least trying everything and playing. So had an early interaction with the proposer, and then I just gave some general advice on the prop. And then I was willing to kind of be on the multi-sig to provide like some small form of assistance on it. I gave more, to be honest, like meta feedback on the proposal than necessarily the game feedback, because I'm not a game developer. So I didn't necessarily feel comfortable providing too much game-centric feedback, but a little bit more meta feedback.
Did you vote on chain on this one?
Not yet. I have to get in some votes in the next day or so. But yeah, again, like also just trying to, I mean, I didn't sponsor this proposal like I did the last game proposal. Nouncil did, but it's just, let people take shots, I think, and see where it lands,
Yeah. Bud Light's a yes.
Bud Light, they're gamers. They want to play.
But they lost the Noun 12 vote. That beer vote. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more votes with reason. We did see Neckfest here. Shout out Neckfest, friend of the pod, friend of the stream. Eagerly waiting for the first Nouns powered game that people can't stop playing. I would humbly submit, you're playing it right now, man. You're playing it right now on federation.wtf. It's being simulcast right now on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. Yeah.
Especially the nouns powered component. This is as nouns powered as it gets. But that's okay. I understand that sentiment quite a bit. It would be really cool to see something noun centric. I guess I would say noun centric over nouns powered. Just capture some sort of gaming attention.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch back over to the Figma here. We're about 40 minutes into the stream. We got, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes left here. Index, let's see. What else do we have to talk about today? Yeah, where do you want to take this? Do you want to do? You want to chat about our prop? Do you want to chat about? I'm almost eager to chat about sort of what you teased early on in the show about your sort of optimism about nouns. You're kind of thinking about real life stuff. Yeah, what's Anything you want to share along those lines?
It's tough because my thoughts are kind of like all over the place, and I think I need to take some time to like fully distill them. But I think the optimism is just that there's like a lot more paths and nouns than you may have thought, that I may have thought possible, and that there's a lot of space to kind of work in and play in. And yeah, I don't know how much more specific to get right now without like thinking about it deeper, but there's more paths, there's more options, there's more space to play in, and I think we can indeed find like our own little space with this idea that we have. It's nouns as a game is kind of thought about more than maybe outside of this little stream. It's like an easy analogy, easy metaphor. And I think easy, making like this governance easy and like playful, it could be potentially very valuable. You know, like people want to enjoy nouns. It doesn't want to feel like work. So I think that's kind of like a direction we can hopefully take nouns.
People want to enjoy nouns. Don't want it to feel like work. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to think, you know, kind of like sit and distill thoughts a lot. But just excited in general. I don't know, ready to like do something in nouns, you know? Like we've been playing nouns, but we still personally have like levels to go and quests to go on, and I think that will really help. Not only like, you know, obviously like help directly with this prop and what we're tasked to do, but just help understand nouns in a new way. We know like DAO v3 is coming up soon enough. It has to be voted on, and the game will change quite intensely, and it's like this whole another world to play in.
Yeah.
There's a lot there to work with on DAO v3 that wasn't possible in DAO v2. So
what do you mean with v3? Meaning there'll be a fork, you think, and therefore a more focused nouns v3 that will be easier to pass certain types of proposals, or what are you referring to?
Just even like the features, you know, there's going to be like feedback stages. There's going to be you know, place where you can put your prop up and get people to co-sign on it and give you feedback. Just bringing more of the off-chain world on-chain. And when something is on-chain, it kind of allows you to do things with it. You know, that off-chain data can't really be like manipulated.
Yep.
If I'm making any sense at all, I don't know. There's just going to be a lot more to play with on-chain, and nouns is trying to, you know, push that on-chain thing.
Yeah, definitely the kind of nouns as an on-chain society meme, the public good sort of software folks there, like the Yutong, the Elads, the Nounders. There's large, you know, support that's really come through for some of these recent props. Like if you look at the verbs and the federation.wtf, those are very, very popular props.
Yeah, and we even have like Mogu, the board, and Martin. If you go to the site, you can see kind of, he has an update feed, and in that update feed, you can see he's working on an announced proposal. And that's just kind of like exciting.
Oh, I love that. Shout out Martin, shout out Mogu. I'm going to actually jump to that right now. We featured Mogu on the stream last week. I nice here. Some good visitor stats.
Yeah, it's a brief timeline, but it's just cool to see someone like putting it up there. And June 24th, Noun's proposal. He's going to starting to work on one. So I expect we'll see that at some point. And yeah, I think it's like a meta shift, almost. He built a product kind of like Wilson, got some traction, showed some promise, and people will be excited to like fund it and see it develop.
Yep. Have you messed around here on this big board index?
Of course. It's quite insightful, you know? I think everyone talked about like something like this existing. We memed it up quite a bit on our own show, like unofficially, but it's, you no longer need a spreadsheet for any of this if you're a proposer. It makes like proposing easier too, you know, like I talked about a lot earlier, like for proposers to make it easier on voters. But it's also nice that this kind of makes things easier on proposers as well. Like any tool that makes nouns easier, makes nouns fun and enjoyable is kind of a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see his business at the bottom of the screen? Can't go wrong. It's like an instant 4.
Yeah, Martin, what an awesome career so far. Can't help but just think very positively about what he's been able to build and him getting on chain. Again, he's had props pass. He's been part of Explore grants that passed and then didn't pass. But yeah, what a fun little interface here for nouns. A little alt front end, a little client. Yeah, something you and I have been harping on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think multiple people have had this kind of like idea or general concept, and he built it. But I think again, going back, there's plenty of things to play around with and build out and work on.
Yep. At Surf Mogu on Twitter here, brought to you by Ann Quittel with the Seinfeld-related PFP. Can't go wrong with Kramer.
It's a classic episode. The sniffing accountant.
I don't remember that one. What happened?
You know, Jerry's got kind of like this accountant that they suspect is manipulating his funds for his own personal use, and Kramer goes in to like stake it out, and try to catch him in the act of like misusing the funds. But he's got the sweater that he's allergic to, and so like the accountant keeps sniffing, but it's because of the sweater. So the sniffing accountant. You don't remember this one? This is a classic. But he drinks the beer while smoking the cigarette.
Which noun head would Kramer choose?
Oh man. I'm pulling up the traits as if I don't know them, but
yeah, give us a visual
really good
here.
Question.
Head to the playground or something. Let's close out. We got another 5 minutes or so.
You can probably go let's go to nounscout.wtf if you can pull it open for me.
All right, nounscout.wtf. Ooh, great new release. Last week or a couple weeks ago?
Scroll up a little bit and click pick trait. Pick your trait. Here we go. We got the heads here. He definitely likes a little retro vibe. a little offbeat vibe. Do you have anything in mind personally?
Yeah, I'm just looking through. He's sort of, I don't know, sort of a bat vibe, just kind of flapping around.
That's not a bad one, actually. I feel like he could be like I don't know, like a cotton ball or something, maybe too, but
yeah. Wasn't there an episode where he stuck his mouth full of cotton or something? Oh, maybe it was cigarettes. There's an episode where he smokes like, some ungodly number of cigarettes. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he gets into like he ages like 20 years in like a day.
Yeah, that's right. He could be a lint.
I was gonna say lint, and then I went with cotton ball. But yeah, he's something like that. I don't know. I'm looking at macaroni, like the fusilli Jerry, when he makes the pasta sculptures.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He could also be like a grouper or something. I don't know why, but
or a puffer fish. He's a puffer fish.
It's actually hard to do. Pick something, but anyway.
Thinking also about that episode about George's massive wallet.
Oh.
Got a nice good wallet head for that one.
Oh, can we do like Seinfeld episodes as nouns? I don't know. That might be too hard.
Snowman looks a lot like Kramer too. Oh, or capybara.
Yeah, he might be a capybara.
While we're here, we're at nounscout.wtf. You would put a bounty up, right? Is it still up or has it been fulfilled? Let's see.
It has not been fulfilled. Yeah.
Hip Bros.
Yeah, I did one for Hip Bros. Like, I don't know. I actually went to this site and I went to look at the backgrounds and I was like, maybe I'll just pick a background just for fun. But none of them were available to be chosen. And I didn't really know exactly how the site had worked yet. So I just figured you couldn't choose backgrounds. But then again, why would it be on the site? But it's just that you can't choose something that had just been minted. And so at the time, all the backgrounds had been recently minted. And so they were kind of put on a cooldown timer. And so I just clicked to the glasses page, and on the glasses page, the first thing is Hip Rose. So I went with it. Felt right. But what I have done is yeah.
Oh, keep going.
Oh, what I have done is that when the auction matches the kind of the trait that has a bounty, someone has to settle it, and you get tipped a small nominal amount. But I've done the settlement the last 3 times in a row. So I've aided in the donation, and I've received a little reward for it. So I've kept the thing moving a little bit.
How much did you make?
Well, you get like roughly 0.003 ETH, and then you have to take out the gas fees that you do pay. So it's very little. Maybe like 0.003 in total if you take out all the gas.
But it's definitely plus EV for you.
Just feels good, and I'm actually earning some ETH.
Gamer's gonna game, man. Hell yeah.
You'll have the opportunity tonight if you would like to give it a shot. I don't know if you'll be up. Or when the auction ends at 12:13 a.m. or maybe it goes longer, there'll be a double bounty to settle this time. Oh, what a noun. Is that you? That's almost you. That's like your grandfather.
Yeah, I like a little bit more color in my panda.
Yeah,
but, like this with the Hip Rose glasses, I could go with that. I do like
Hit Bros Infinity.
this shirt.
That would be killer.
Oof. Yeah, we're up 30 ETH. Oh yeah, this one was interesting. It's like a basketball jersey, like a two-handed noun.
It is a little weird, but it works. It's fun. It's interesting. It's absurdish.
Yeah, we're up to proposal 319. So we're a fifth of the way already through the 300s. That makes me feel a little bit of urgency here. Index.
Maybe what do we have? 80 props left. That's 80 props is a lot. Let's go 80 props back. Actually, let's see. Let's do some reverse math here. Scroll down a bit. 240, right? 239.
I remember this, man. Little nouns, down for the count. This was a totally different era. This is literally a different era in little nouns. Look at the team on this here. Baba, shout out Baba. MFers, I think. Al, Volky, Ripe. Yeah, this feels like ages ago, but what's the timing on this? This was submitted March, 3 months ago, 3.5, almost 4 months ago.
So that's a lot of time for 80 props to come through.
That is true.
But then also, the longer you get, the more you start to inch towards rage quit territory.
Yep.
So it's interesting. We're not too far away from. Like it'll be here sooner than we know. We'll be voting on it, and it'll consume the DAO for weeks on end, if not months.
We got that to look forward to, man. That's a major patch fix. I think it's going to be harder than we think to get that thing implemented, but I agree with you. It's going to really change the metagame. We're here at now 7:59 here. Gosh, this must be our 10th show in a row. We're here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock UTC. And we're going to see you all next week. Index, any closing thoughts?
Enjoy nouns, and we'll see you next week.